Hi, my lovely students. Welcome to Learn Cantonese Literally. And welcome back if you come from my last video in which I test Gemini. This time, we're gonna look at the performance of Chatgpt in helping us to learn Cantonese. Last time we found that while Gemini was good at explaining the main differences in the usage of confusing words like the word suffixes 过 and 着, which we tested last time, it is, however, not entirely reliable because after just 2 prompts, it started giving us example sentences that are outright incorrect. This time we'll look at ChatGPT. Originally, I wanted to use the same prompt, but then I think because after all, this is not a scientific study, so I think using another prompt will be more interesting. I'll use a similar one in structure, but different in content. So I have already copied the prompt that I used last time. I'll paste it here. I'm a Cantonese learner. Please teach me the differences between last time we asked about 过 and 着 when used as verb suffixes. Give me at least 3 example sentences for each. Provide the Chinese characters, Yutping, literal, and natural English translation. Thanks. Okay, I will not ask GPT to explain 过 and 着 again. This time I will try the verb suffixes 都 and 斗. Okay. 斗 斗 I will give it the character as well. For 斗, both forms are used by people. Okay, so I'll include both. Okay, so as you know, if you come from the last video, this is my first time using this prompt. There's no rehearsal, so I'm also reading this with you in real time as I record this video. Let's see, so this is one of the most confusing topics in Cantonese because I love how all these introductions all sounds the same, no matter it's Gemini or GPT. Okay, because do and do are both written as do in many informal texts, and many speakers pronounce them similarly in fast speech. I don't think so. This sentence, I don't think so. For native speakers, there are definitely 2 different sounds and words and concepts in our mind. Of course, in fast speech, they can sound similar, but it doesn't mean we pronounce them similarly. I think it's more about perception instead of production. Anyway. However, they have different historical origins and functions. Okay. A useful way to think about them is 都 related to achievements, reaching a goal, successful attainment. 斗 reversal. When used as verb suffix, I don't think so. I will see what it says. Successful movement away, back, open, out. Often written at 斗, though many people casually write 斗. Yeah. I think what it's doing is, what it's doing is trying to give you the significance, the meaning of the word itself, not when it's used as verb suffix. From that angle, this is correct. These are meanings related to this word itself. But remember, our focus here is when they are used as verb suffixes. Okay, let's continue. Though this is the same though, meaning arrive, manage to reach, obtain, perceive, achieve, find here. Common verbs include this is rubbish. Okay, I have to say I'm very disappointed. Example 1, 我終於揾到份工. Okay, this is definitely wrong. All these cases we use 到, okay, in turn 2 instead of 到. No, these are all wrong. I finally found a job. Yes, but we use turn 2, alright? Example 2, 你有冇聽 again, 到, not turn 3, turn 2. 我講嘢. Did you hear me speak? Okay, this is not a literal translation. Literal translation would be you have, not have, hear, 到, I say things. Did you hear what I said? Okay, so far it's performing very disappointingly. 我睇唔到. I don't think I have to continue. These are all wrong because in all these cases, here, 我睇唔到 in turn 2個門牌. I cannot see the house number. 我做到啦. No one would say 我做到啦. 我收到 not turn 3. 我收到你封信. I received your letter. Meaning pattern. Verb 到 means the intended result has been successfully achieved. This is correct, alright? But it is describing 到, okay? It's describing 到, not 到. 到 in turn 3 has two major usages, which GPT did not actually mention. First, it is as in arrive. 去到, which is literally go. 到 means you go to a place and you have arrived there. For example, 你去到我屋企就打電話俾我. 你去到我屋企 means you go 到 my home 就 then 打電話 call with telephone 俾我 to me. Like call me when you arrive my home. Or another related concept is till. It's about time, okay? For example, 呢個畫展去到a date 下星期三. This art exhibition lasts until next Wednesday. Also, another related one is arrive in the sense of return. For example, 返到 usually home, office, school, a place where you frequently go back to. 我返到屋企話你知 I return, arrive, home, tell you, let you know, okay? Another usage is like this. The pattern is verb plus do plus a condition or an adjective. For example, 玩到好夜 play 到 very late at night. 我哋尋晚玩到好夜 We last night played till very late. Okay, this construction is for describing the degree, the extent of an action. So we had fun last night. Okay, 玩 we play, and instead of play I would translate it as to have fun. So we had fun last night till very late. Very late is a description of our action of very fun, or of having fun. Or 食到好飽 eat 到 very full. So we ate something, and I want to describe this action of eating. I want to give you more information. We eat to the degree that we became very full. 我哋食到好飽. You can think of it as we do that action until we arrive at the point of being very full. Or like we had fun till the point where it was very late. So it is still sort of related to the idea of arriving to a point. Not a physical point, but like a metaphor. Or a very common one that is 攰到死 攰 tired to the degree of dying 死 to die 攰到死 我今日攰到死 Today I am exhausted. I am very, very tired. These are two main usages of 到, and I'm very disappointed that GPT did not even mention them at all. Okay. Let's see. Let's continue. 2到 directional result complements. Historically, this is 到 meaning over, back, open, out, away, reverse. After another verb, it indicates the action causes something to move into a new direction or position. Really. 開到推到拎到出嚟放到入去搬到返嚟 At this point, I still don't know what it's trying to say, so I'm sorry. Example 1, 幫我拎到本書出 Okay, this is rubbish again. No one say that. 你可以搬到張凳過嚟嗎 This one is actually correct, but I think it's an accident that it is correct. 你可以搬到張凳過嚟嗎 You can move 到 measure word, chair, over here 過嚟 question particle. can you move the chair over here? It is fine because what do means as verb suffix, again, verb do, verb plus do, it means you can successfully carry out an action. So in Cantonese, when you just use a bare verb, we know that you do that action, you did that action, but we don't know the result. For example, okay, we use this verb, 搬, move, to move something, okay? 搬, move the chair, for example. 搬凳 is an action. 搬. When you just use the bare verb 搬, we know you're trying to move something. We don't know yet the result, especially if it's something that's heavy or difficult to move. Then we don't know. All we know for sure is that you try to move something. But if you say 搬到, when you add this 到, 搬到, then I know you successfully performed this action. The action is performed in a satisfactory way. I would say this one is redundant here because you already have 可以, can. You're already asking, can you move that chair over here? So you don't really need to add this 到 as verb suffix. It sounds redundant, but it is not incorrect in this case. I think it's by accident because obviously Chatgpt does not understand these two verb suffixes. Example 3, this is rubbish. This sentence, just don't look at it. This is again, no, these are rubbish. Rubbish, I'm sorry, don't look at the incorrect one. You know, it looks so neat and tidy and orderly. You're tempted to believe that it is a good idea to learn with AI maybe. But the truth is they can be speaking rubbish in a very convincing way. Okay, I don't think we have to look at this because it has the audacity to give me a practical test. Wow. No. A note on modern Cantonese writing. In everyday messaging, subtitles, and even some printed materials, many writers use do for both pronunciation. This is true. I think that it tries to repeat this point over and over again because actually in the prompt, I already hinted that I provided it two written versions. It is just mirroring what I told it. Okay, this is largely an orthographic simplification rather than reflection of pronunciation or whatever. I don't even bother to read it. It's just wrong. Okay, I will try to challenge it a little bit to see if it can self-correct. Okay. Your response seems wrong. Please be careful not to confuse spoken Cantonese with written Chinese and spoken Mandarin. Okay, I will just see whether it can self-correct. Right, to challenge it, my previous answer mixed together several different phenomena from... I use this prompt because, you know, in Mandarin, there is no do. There is no these differences. There are no two do and do. I think for most cases they use 到, this one word, for all of those cases, almost all those usages. In Cantonese, there is this distinction in the language. So sometimes, I'm not saying GPT is good at Mandarin, I don't think so, but it might be slightly better in Mandarin than in Cantonese because of, I don't know, the availability of training data, maybe. Yeah, difficulty here is there actually two different suffixes produced differently. Yeah, again, another reason why GPT might be this bad at speaking Cantonese is because I think it's mostly trained on written data. And written Cantonese is messy, it's not standardized. So, of course, it is difficult for it to learn the differences, the nuances between dou and dou, especially when often both verb suffixes are written with the same character. Though the ordinary result complement managed to succeed in. This is actually for tone 2, for dou, not for dou. So it is still wrong. Okay, still wrong. Number 2. This does not simply mean achieve completely flow, to the extent that this is true, but not for this word, not for tone 2. For tone 3, I think GPT makes up the two suffixes. Okay, this is very confusing. To extend that, true, but this is talking about tone 3. Okay, talking about these, tone 3. So the description for tone 3 should be applied to tone 2, and the description for tone 2 should be applied to tone 3. 飽到, 凍到, no, 熱到. These are rubbish. It is just incorrect. No, we shouldn't look at this. Okay, at this point I can already say that no, just no, don't use GPT to learn Cantonese. I want to quickly do something. I want to use exactly the same prompts and see what would Gemini tells us. Okay, here. Let's see. Okay, skip these things. I will look at here directly. Dou means to arrive at a physical place or a specific point in time or degree. Dou means success or achievement. It signals that you successfully managed to do something you are trying to do. Often sensory verbs like seeing, hearing, finding. Oh, this is exceptional, especially comparing with GPT. GPT was like crap. Gemini, so far, it hits the point. These are true. Writing notes. Yeah, again, true. We stick to dou since it's what you encounter most on the streets of Hong Kong, alright? I will look at the example sentences. 我行到地鐵站. 我行到地鐵站. I walk, arrive at subway station. I walk to the MTR station. 我行到地鐵站. Yeah, this is fine. This is a description of my current position. For example, if you call me, you want to know where I am right now, I'm on the way and now I am walking and I sort of arrive at this point, which is the MTR station. Then I'll say 我行到地鐵站。我而家行到地鐵站。I now arrive at subway station. And this one, 尋晚我企到腳都軟。Yeah, this is fine. Last night I sang to the degree of, or to the extent that legs also soft. Last night I stood until my legs went weak. This is correct. 我哋傾到半夜1點。半夜 not 半夜。半夜半夜 is fine, but in natural speech, this one undergoes a tone change. But it's fine. It's not too bad. 我哋傾到半夜1點。We chat. Arrive at midnight 1 o'clock. We chat until 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, these are good examples. 2. 到 success attainment. Yeah, think of 到 as the success button. Use it when you want to show that you didn't just try to do an action, you actually succeeded in doing it. Yep. 我終於買到飛啦. I finally buy successfully tickets.啦. Good. 你睇唔睇到嗰個牌子? You look, not look, successfully. That's classifier. Sign. Sign. 牌子, in fact, in Cantonese, it means a brand, like LV or, I don't know, Uniqlo. Yeah, a brand. Not just for fashion brand, but any kind of brands. 牌子. I don't think we use it for sign. We say 牌in tone 2 for sign. Okay, 牌子 is the word for brands. So this sentence is grammatically correct. It's just that this word does not mean sign. Can you see that sign? Okay. 我揾到我條鎖匙. I look for successfully my classifier key. Good. Yeah, if without 到, 我揾我條鎖匙, if you say that to me, all I know for sure is that you are finding or you try to find your key. I don't know the result. I don't know whether you found it at last. But with the addition of 到, I know that you found your key. By the way, I don't think it's plural. 我條鎖匙 should be singular. My classifier key, yeah, should be singular if this construction is used. I found my key instead of my keys. Otherwise, it should be 我啲 or 我嘅, a possessive marker, which doesn't tell you whether it's singular or plural. But when you use possessor, classifier, the possessed object, or a possessed noun, it is singular. Okay, so the translation is a little bit off. But grammatically speaking, otherwise, they're correct. Side-by-side comparison. Look at how the tone alone completely changes the scenario. 我返到公司. I arrived at the office. You physically reached the destination. 我返到工. I managed to go to work. Maybe you were really sick or transport was broken, but you successfully made it happen. This is nice. Nice comparison. Okay, I will stop here. And yeah, it surprised me a little bit. Gemini definitely speaks Cantonese better than GPT, it seems. However, as we can see, there are mistakes here and there. So, in short, I would say AI is still a very, 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 very unreliable tool for learning Cantonese. In terms of asking it to explain some similar words to you or explaining grammar stuff is horrible. For a learner of Cantonese, if you're still a learner, right, you have no way to know when to trust it, when not to. Traps are everywhere. So, next time, I actually want to try another thing. I will provide a paragraph, written or audio or whatever, and I will ask these two LLMs to translate and explain the sentences. We will see if AI could be useful in this way, at least, not to explain any concepts to us from scratch, from zero, but to provide it a reliable, a correct Cantonese input, a text, and ask it to help us understand this authentic and grammatically correct text. Next time, we'll see whether AI can be at least useful in that aspect. And thank you very much for watching. And I don't know whether you have experience with learning Cantonese with AI and what's your experience. I would love to hear about them if you don't mind sharing. So that's all for this time. See you next time. Happy learning. 下次見. Bye bye.